All right, we're going to talk a little bit about my favorite game, Star Citizen. Alpha 3.11 Postmortem here by Cloud Imperium putting an article out and saying, okay, here's the things that we did. These are the things that we learned from 3.11. Initially, thank you, Max. God bless, dude, coming in here like a boss. Love you, Max. Thanks so much, dude. Originally, when 3.11 dropped, there were so many negative reviews on it by many content creators, and I think I was one of a handful, like just a very few select people that said, nothing's wrong. I'm actually enjoying 3.11. And I gave instances as to why, and primarily, it was because of the amazing additions to the play that they added, that they have way down at the end here, and they talk about it, which I think should really be first when they talk about it, and it's the armistice zones. And the armistice zones are really, like, to me, so influential for a structured PvP and PvE gameplay coexisting together. People who like PvP and PvE, armistice zones, with the introduction of turrets and sentries, I think does a fantastic job at making sure that you don't have rampant griefing in secure zones. And I think they'll be much more lax about security in the armistice zones in unlawful space. So for me, 3.11 was like the impetus of saying, okay, we are now structuring a system moving forward when we're opening up new systems that we can, abide by. The initial kind of baby steps towards creating an atmosphere where PvPers can go to PvP places and PvEers can go to PvE places. What's going on, Erad? Welcome to the stream, my friend. So 3.11 for me was influential in terms of like, okay, we finally got like a structured armistice zone system that can be improved upon. And 3.11 in that respect was a positive for me, very much so. So let's see what else they're going to get into here on the kind of like the post-mortem of 3.11. And I really want to put out a podcast that I did about a month ago where we're talking about 3.11. And it was with Killian, and it was with Shockwave and Fox. And apologies to those three gentlemen because we spent 3 hours talking, having a great time. And it's only because of my stupidity and the inability to find time that I have not put that podcast out. So my apologies to everybody. But they're talking about the vehicle team. They're saying this year, or in this patch, the vehicle pillar had a much lighter quarter with 3.11 compared to the bumper delivery in Alpha 3.10. But what we delivered hopefully had a big impact on gameplay experience. I think and this is current right now, my biggest disappointment right now with what they're talking about in terms of new ships and different gameplay that's being added is, obviously we didn't see it with the 100 series. They're trying to do something a little bit different in terms of design with the new Sea-Nu Nomad. But I was disappointed that the Nomad wasn't refinery. Like, everybody was building me up that the Nomad was going to be like some type of refining industrial ship. And so, like, for me, I got all this misinformation about it through different content creators. And no, you didn't say that. Not you, Erad. I'm not talking about you, dude. But like, I did get some information from other content creators, not Erad, about how this was going to be some type of like amazing industrialized refining kind of ship, and we didn't get that. So I was a little bit let down that it didn't form that function, because I really do want more industrial tasked ships. I think we need more love. I think the industrialists need more love. And in terms of ships and in terms of the gameplay, I think that you will find much higher player retention and much more interest when you're adding what we're all looking forward to, which is a more in-depth version of the cargo decks, a more in-depth version. What I'm seeing from the refining decks from the Inside Star Citizen review we did last week, I do like what they're planning in terms of game design for the refining decks. Really, really appreciate how they're approaching the game design in terms of the refining decks. So that should be interesting to see how that's going to land. That says it can relate to off-station refining by hauling loads to refinement ships. Yeah, that's true. That's true. It could be like a hauler. It is like a mid-size kind of hauling ship. Some people, Fets, were saying that it's a little strange that the back end is opened as it is, completely open in terms of like, how does that work physics-wise when you're landing a ship and you have cargo at the end of the ship? Some people were saying that it's not very realistic in terms of design to put your cargo on the back end. I'm not quite sure, because I'm not quite sure if that closes up back. I'm not quite sure if there's a door on the back of the Nomad. And then also, like, Erad is saying that it looks very similar to the Asp. And on last night's Inside Star Citizen review, we did talk about how I love the layout of the cockpit. And yeah, we're going to do that right now. In fact, see, Erad knows exactly where I'm going here. Content creators, we understand each other. So here's something very interesting that we picked up upon last night on the Inside Star Citizen review, is that the cockpit design, at least the forward part of the ship, has a very similar design and look to the Aspen Elite Dangerous, like almost identical on the front half of the ship. And I do say last night, and I still, and I'm behind this 100% as far as the cockpit design. I love the amount of viewable surface, the viewable area inside the cockpit of the Nomad. I was like, wow, what a wonderful interior inside look. The amount of viewability inside the cockpit of the Nomad was delicious. I was like, wow, this needs to happen in other style ships, especially fighters. Give me a fighter that has that kind of cockpit, and I am in heaven, and I will buy that ship immediately, because that is the viewable area that I would want in a PvP styled ship. I find it interesting that they're putting it on this ship that's operating as kind of like a mid-freight freighter ship. So, there was slight letdown in terms of the design for the landing gear as well. I didn't really like the landing gear, but I liked that it was mimicking the hands from Consolidated Outlander. Like, if you look, because a lot of people are calling them chopsticks and whatsoever, but the one thing that I did like was at least they were trying to make them look unique and different. And the CEO of the Nomad is, or the CEO of Consolidated Outlander is a guy named Silas. And Silas loved the history of Earth and loved Elon Musk and his ingenuity, and he kind of reminds me of if Elon Musk and Matthew McConaughey had a baby. Okay, Tech, have a good day, bro. Your mug is coming to you, man. You chill out and you have a good day, Tech, man. Good to see you here. Thanks for stopping by. So here's a post from Star Citizen from Cloud Imperium, and they're saying, who did it better, Silas or Elon Musk? And so they're comparing their design to the Cybertruck, which is interesting. So they got a picture here of Silas and the Nomad, and then they've got a picture of Elon Musk. What's up, Eric? How you doing? Eric's all for the landing gear. See, Eric was throwing down last night, and I'm happy because I love difference of opinions, man. I wasn't too happy with the landing gear, but I did like the fact that they are trying to make it look different. And if you go with the lore and you talk about Silas, and one of the reasons I'm talking about this is Eric, actually, because last night, a lot of us didn't like the landing gear, and Eric stuck up for the landing gear, which made me research a little bit more and have this information for you here today about Silas being somebody who's this is the guy who brought us the Pioneer. remember that Pioneer speech? And, that was an amazing little video of where he was like propping up about humanity and how we love to explore. And, it was one of those speeches that kind of like really hit home about humanity and how we are explorers, So this guy is definitely a genius when it comes to giving us something different. And those landing gears really are supposed to mimic. You can see above us the logo of Consolidated Outlander is this. And if you take the landing gear and you go like this, it's really giving you the logo of Consolidated. So that's something that a lot of people aren't picking up on. That the landing gear is actually giving you the logo of Consolidated Outlander. So that's different as well. But I think they need to either retexture it, give it a different skin or something on the top. I don't know. And it looked a little like, like they need to make them a little bit more solid. I think, I don't know. Just my personal opinion. But I do like that Eric stuck up for it. And he's like, hey, guys, listen, this man's different. This man is like a futurized Elon Musk and giving us the Cybertruck. Because you remember when the Cybertruck first hit and nobody liked the Cybertruck. We all laughed. We all were like, ha, ha, ha. Well, you know what? Since then, the Cybertruck's kind of grown on me. Like right now, I'm kind of like, I'm kind of digging it. It's really weird how that works. Erat says, DG, since you wish to be a pirate, think of what your Caterpillar's tractor beam could do to that open cargo in the bag. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And I did like the fact that the Nomad was talking about having a future tractor beam on it. And I can't wait to see that. What's up, Ross? How you doing? Zell says it will look good in my gun sights. And then Ross says, Nomad fits a good niche. It is bringing a few of my friends who had limited interest back to the game. That's great, Ross. That's great, dude. That's awesome. Yeah, so like, I just wanted to give you a little overview of that, because we talked a little bit about it last night when we were watching Inside Star Citizen Reviews. So I wanted to give you guys a little bit more in depth while we're going over this 311 report here. So basically they're saying, okay, we got the 100 out. We got missiles and countermeasures we updated. Okay, we know that. I do like the new noise chaff. It's effective. They still need to work, They still need to put some work into it. I'm just, the new UI with the Gladius is just one of the reasons why we're giving away a Gladius coming up, and we'll make the announcement, is just because I love the new UI rework and the new MFD displays. The effects that we're going to get just looks fantastic. Like everything that I've been watching on Inside Star Citizen has been like fantastic in terms of the new look that we're going to get inside the cockpits of most of our ships, starting with the Gladius. But then we see the technology, and they're talking about the canvas decal system, which is talking about building blocks and how they're appropriating building blocks towards the new canvas decal system, which is cool. Building blocks is such a great tech that they're continually improving upon. Building blocks is being responsible for a lot of that fresh, slick design that we're starting to see with UI in terms of buttons on doors, and building blocks is really coming in and saving the day in terms of the look, the crisp feel of the Moby glass that's happening right now. Like, the Moby glass does not feel moshy like a sponge when you push it anymore. It's very crisp. I like what building blocks is doing, the interrelation and the information that's being traded all the way from Spectrum into the game through building blocks, also hugely important. They're really, really improving upon building blocks. So I'm digging that. The planet tech that they've introduced, planets are looking fantastic, continually upgrading the looks and feels of the environment. One of the reasons I like Star Citizen so much is that visceral feel when it comes to your environments, like that movie-esque type quality that Chris is so entrenched in, giving us the detail that we all want, is one of the reasons why the game really stands out. And the reason why I come back to Star Citizen all the time is the looks, man. The looks are fantastic, right? But I think, again, comes back to, this debate where people get upset and they talk about server-based issues, and I understand that, because when it comes down to it at the end of the day, we still have that huge roadblock in front of us, and that's going to loom in front of us until we get more information. But with Chad on the case, I have high hopes. I really think Chad is going to be able to knock it out of the park with the server-related issues, and I think we're going to see that coming up into 2021. I think there's going to be a pleasant surprise in the cards for a lot of the issues that we're seeing when it comes to the server tech. All right, see you, Max. See you, buddy. So anyway, they talk about all the, I'll put this link down below. They're talking about everything that 311 gave us, the external inventory, right? I think this is a good overview to talk about because a lot of people are like, oh, it's just a simulator. It's just a picture simulator. But when you get behind it, the curtains, and you really look at what they've done in 311, there's quite a bit. There's quite a bit that's been done through 311. But the inventory screen, fantastic. Again, building blocks, force reactions, very, very early impetus. It needs a lot of work. But nice, Erad says 1 hour and 50 minutes until the expo opens. Nice. And we're all looking forward to that. I can't wait. I hopefully am going to be able to get Christy in the game and maybe do a video with her. We'll see, because I'm actually going up to Cleveland and bringing her back. So to have Christy in a video would be fun, at least for the giveaway stuff, or at least maybe I can get a video out there of the IAE. I usually do every year. Hopefully I can do it this year. A lot going on in my real life. So we got throwing tier 1. Throwing mechanisms. So you've got a basis. You've got a basis for improvement, That coffee is nice. So a lot really happened in 311 that I don't think people are acknowledging. That really is tier 1, baby steps 1.0. But again, like I said, I think the biggest thing for 311 was the initiation of these armistice zones and kind of a lockdown when it comes to if people start griefing. The sentries and the turrets are a nice addition. And I think that will layer itself into the game nicely. The cargo decks were great, but this is something that Erad and I agree on, is that, if you're going to introduce these new environments, have some type of gameplay attached to it, right? I think Erad and I are both on the same page when it comes to that. I don't know if I'm speaking out of turn for Erad, but when it comes to bringing us cargo decks, right? Give us something additional than just the place to go to. Give us some types of gameplay elements to cargo decks. When you're initiating new places, we have to have some type of, or don't do it, because I think it's a bad move for the game, right? See, now you're noticing, now it seems like they're learning from their mistakes, because they're going to be releasing refining decks and they've got the gameplay attached to it. So that needs to happen going forward. And I think it's a smart move. I think they did learn from it. And yeah. And then, right, the gambling area, Grim Hex, and no gambling. Right. Absolutely. So we saw it with the new addition to Grim Hex, where they just put out the location with no gameplay attached to it. We saw it with cargo decks. And then all of a sudden, I think from those two instances, you're seeing refining decks actually having some type of gameplay attached to it, which is great. So I hope they go back and revamp and then say, okay, let's add some gameplay. Let's add some actual content instead of a location for the Grim Hex area. That's the additional area. And let's do it also for cargo decks. What's up, Execute? How you doing, buddy? So that's our overview of 311. That's some points I wanted to make about the ships, the gameplay attached to 311, and then hopefully I'll be able to edit the talk I had with the three amazing gentlemen in our community and push that out to a podcast this weekend or into next week. So stay tuned for that. It's about a month old, but we talk about 311 when it initially hits, when it initially landed. I think it's a good podcast to listen to, and I will put the work. I've already put 2 or 3 hours into editing it. I've got so much more to do, but it's a wonderful talk with the community, and I will go ahead and I will put that out either this weekend or into next week. So stay tuned for that. We will be having a giveaway as well for a free Gladius, some amazing coffee, and some merch and stuff. So stay tuned for that, guys, and let's get back to the stream.